I'm Mary Travis. I'm 74.
I'm Terrance Travis, age 78, and my mother and my father's name was Harvey Travis, and Dolly Travis is Crosby, and siblings were Cecil, Eugene, Carlisle, myself, of course. My sisters were Rosetta, Blanche, Rosie, Daisy, and Patricia, and Honora. Almost left out one. I remember back in the 50s when they had the parades, and I was asked by Ira Shad, a resident here. He says, "Terrance, you have a horse, don't you?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Why don't you enter your horse into the parade?" I said, "Oh, I'd love to." So anyway, I took that home and I said to my sisters, "Would you mind decorating the horse for me?" And they asked me why, and I told them. They said, "Sure." They were proud to do it. So they decorated it by putting ribbons in his mane, which is the hair on the horse's head and neck. And my dad did the tail, on the tail. So yeah, that was nice. So I rode the horse into the parade. And after that, there was a band, which I was very proud to join as well, because that was led by Ira Shad. He was our bandmaster. And I was a guy that played the saxophone in his parade. They called it the North Buxton Maple Leaf Band. And I was very proud to be in that. They had bands from Cottam and Windsor, bands from all over. Michigan as well, yes. And they had motorcycles and people, like I say, in the band from all over. And I like the majorettes, of course. And they had the military, legionnaires. They had the police horses in the parade, which was nice. And they shared part of our driveway, which was also very nice. They had tractors and old vintage cars. Clowns and all sorts of things to meet your eye, which was very nice. We enjoyed the parade. I remember my Uncle Bob saying to Uncle Ed, says, "Hey, you know what? They're having a greasy pig challenge this afternoon. Why don't you see what you can do about that? You're a strong man." Uncle Ed says, "Uncle Albert, well, why don't you try it?" So he said, "I'll give you $50 if you can put that pig in the back, this greasy pig in the back of that Earl Prince's truck." So he says, "I'll take you up on that." He tried to lift the pig up, and the pig just slipped right through his arms and fell on the ground. Everybody was just laughing. Garrison Shad and Ari and all of them was laughing at him. Uncle Albert, he lost his bet. He went ass over tea kettle. I was only about maybe 12 years old. So Ira Shad says to me, he says, "Son, you know what? You want to make $5? I said, "Yes." $5 is big money back there in the 50s. I said, "Sure, I'll do it." He says, "You see that pig over there? They're going to give you $25 if you can put it in the back of that truck." I said, "Oh, heck, I can do it." I went up there and grabbed hold of that pig, and that pig started running with me. And I thought, I got scared. I let him go, and I started crying. I went back and grabbed hold of my dad and hung on to my dad. I got scared of the pig. I thought the pig was chasing me. So Dad says, "You're all right." Gene Passano, he's a big, heavy-set guy. He walked up there and he told everybody, he said, I'll put that son of a gun in the back of that truck, Earl." Talking to Earl Prince. He said, "I'll put him in the back of there." He walked up to that pig, put his arms around him, and just walked him over there like that and dropped him down in the back of that truck. Mm-hmm. Everybody was shouting and laughing and saying, "Oh, this guy did it," and all that stuff. And he was just greased from head to toe. But, you know, those were the good old times. Then they had that their demolition derby. I enjoyed that myself as a youngster, because people with cars and hot rods and stuff, you know, a youngster is going to enjoy something like that. And hearing them cars roaring and all that stuff, and them mufflers barking, I said, I'm just in my glory. So they had these old demolition, old cars, you know. And what it was, you see, what you got to do, you got to jam into these cars, smash into these cars. The more you smash them up, And the last one on there, he was the one that got the purse. He got all that money. There could have been a lot in that purse because people's putting in that purse all the time, you see. So that was good. The last one standing was the one that got it. And then I also enjoyed the ball games, because I was into ball games, because I played ball myself up here in Buxton. And there's a lot of relation against relation. And that was good. Maybe the Shads against the Shreeses, or sometimes North Buxton and South Buxton. Now that was good. I really enjoyed seeing that, because that was really something. I'm glad to be part of it. And I just love everything about it.
Early on in the morning, we set up as many chairs as we could muster together and line them up. A garbage can for people could put their candy wrappers and such. And family members would come, and other people who, we were always saying, if you're in North Buxton on Labor Day, just stop and watch the parade with us. So they would do that. I like the vintage cars in the parade, and the Legionnaires, and the tractors, because I'm so partial to tractors. As you might guess from the ornament out on the lawn. Usually afterwards there'd be barbecuing being done in front of the garage, mostly by our nephew Gary. It was just a nice sort of reunion thing. You'd see people you hadn't seen since the last year. A good time was had by all. We've had several generations here at this particular house and watching the parade on Labor Day. There was Terrance's father. I never knew his mother. And then we had our two children, Jonathan and Megan. Later on, Megan and her 4 children would come out and watch the parade and just enjoy every aspect of it. And it's something we will hopefully be doing for many years to come.
Well, I'm just thinking about the gatherings we used to have down at my uncle's house, Uncle Henry Travis over here. A lot of people would get together over his house in his backyard, and we'd have what they call an old hoedown, where the guys would all get together and sing the whole ragtime and stuff like that, and just reminisce and talk about the parades and stuff up in Buxton. He says, then all of them say, well, let's go on up to Buxton. Any of you guys want to go up to Buxton and see the parade? So after Uncle Henry would say, well, I'm just going to sit back here, but you guys go on up ahead and go on, do your thing. So my dad and Uncle Bob, he was from Cleveland, Ohio, and my aunt, they'd go up there and go in Buxton and join into talking to the people that they know, like getting together, and they'd say, "Oh, there's Uncle Ed. I haven't seen you." And they put his arms around us. I haven't seen you in about 35 years or so. How have you been doing? They'll look at me and say, "Aren't you a Travis?" I said, "Yes." "You look like Harv." I said, "That was my father." And then they go on from there. "Well, I know Harvey. I used to go to school with Harvey." I said, "You did?" And then they say that Alexander, he was Arthur Alexander. He was a principal here in North Buxton School, and he also went to school with my father. And they brought that up, and and that history from all that is good to me, because I got to know my relatives better that way as well. So I enjoyed a lot of things. Buxton brought a lot of enjoyment. A lot of enjoyment to the people that lived here and the people from all abroad, because Labor Day, it brought people from all over. All over. See, Buxton at that time probably had a population of maybe about 350 people. And Labor Day is over 1,000. Now that's saying something. That is saying something. And that's what they call homecoming. And to me, that's a joyful time. At Labor Day, that's when you really find out who your relatives really are. And that's good. It makes me feel good inside, to know that I got that connection with history. And that's what Buxton is. It's history.